Hello, welcome to the self-learning platform by Dr. Sushma Singh. Today we start Unit 2 Frameworks for Analysis, and our topic is Marxian Framework. The Marxian framework analyzes politics in terms of class relations or social relations of production and forces of production. It considers politics as reflection of class relations. Politics is imparted or determined by the economic relations in a society. The political institutions, including the state, are representative of the class interest, and in a class divided society, they serve the interest of the upper or the proprietary class. Unlike the systematic framework, the Marxian framework links the politics in a developing country to the imperialism of the developed countries. The imperialism influences the politics in the developing countries by the conditionalities of the international funding agencies like the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund IMF. As a result of these conditionalities, the states within the developing countries devise policies which adversely affect the ordinary people. People's reaction to these policies form the part of class struggle against the ruling classes. Unlike the system analysis, the Marxian framework traces the politics to its history. It uses the principle of dialectical materialism to comprehend the social and political reality. The application of dialectical materialism is known as historical materialism. It is worth emphasizing that the application of Marxian analysis has been more interdisciplinary in comparison to the system analysis. There are differences among the Marxian scholars regarding the determining role of class or economic factors. In the light of these differences, the Marxian framework can be divided into two groups: classical and neo-Marxian framework. The first one is classical Marxian framework. The classical Marxian approach mentioned in the Communist Manifesto accords an overdetermining role to economy in relation to politics. In this case, the economy is base and the politics is superstructure. Marx and Engels revised their thesis regarding the determining role of base in the 18th Brumaire of the Louis Bonaparte. They now believed that superstructures are not always determined by the base. The latter has its relative autonomy, but in the ultimate analysis, it is the base which determines the superstructure. Thus, politics has its relative autonomy. Like the system framework, the classical Marxian framework has also been used to study the politics and the national and state level. The prominent all India level studies relating to post-independence period by classical Marxian framework include Charles Battleham's India's Independent and Achin Vinayak's The Painful Transition. India's bourgeois democracy, the prominent application of the classical Marxian analysis has been to study the agrarian movement, agrarian relations, and land reforms and the trade union movements in different states. The classical Marxian framework is criticized for giving undue importance to economic factors in comparison to the non-economic factors. The followers of the classical Marxian approach counter this charge. The Marxian framework accepts the autonomy of politics from class, which is relative, but ultimately it is the class which is determining it is rather the followers of the system framework which ignore caste or non-economic factors at cost of role of class. The second one is neo-Marxian framework. The Marxian perspective, which gives adequate focus to the neo-economic factors, culture, consciousness, to the analysis of politics or any other issue, is known as neo-Marxism. The neo-Marxism has emerged as a result of the influence of Gramsci, Frankfurt School, and Ralph Miliband. The Gramscian impact is most visible in the subaltern school, popularized by Ranjit Guha. Subaltern school is significant in the study of modern Indian history, but the insights and concepts used by the subaltern school are used by individual political scientists to study the contemporary politics as well. The scholars applying the subaltern framework argue that the ordinary people develop their autonomous consciousness and take decisions accordingly without the impact of outside agencies. Belonging to the Frankfurt School, as based in Frankfurt, Germany, philosophers like Althusser, Kolkesi, and Paul Tezit, etc., criticized the dialectical materialism of the classical Marxism. Now we want to wind up this lecture and thank you so much for your attention.